Good afternoon, everybody. I am Jen Fernandes, and I am one of the financial coaches with the Thrive program with the United Way of Pioneer Valley. I did a video last week that talked about Thrive and some of the some important resources that we have at the United Way. Today, I'm going to talk about a brief informational video on budgeting and just discuss the importance of budgeting and why everybody should do it consistently. So just a reminder that Thrive is a free program with the United Way, and it's free and open to anybody in the community. It's a one-stop financial success center. The overall goal is to help people feel more confident about their finances and really work on their financial goals and feel better about their financial well-being. So with that said, we do a lot of specific things within Thrive. And one of the biggest things that we do that is so important for everybody to do is budgeting. We do a lot of that with Thrive, and we do it in a lot of detail and make sure everybody understands what budgeting is really all about. So with that said, let's talk about budgeting and, again, why is it so important? What does budgeting actually do? How do we stick to our budget? And in the end, I'm going to give you some phone numbers of our financial coaches that you can call and set up an appointment with Thrive, with one of our coaches, to work on budgeting or maybe some other financial goals that you would like to work on. So let's think about this scenario, because I think this is so common. So think about, you have credit card debt, you have a student loan debt, you have a car loan, you have a mortgage, maybe you have medical debt, and on top of that, you might just be spending your money randomly. We all do that. We're human. We do it. But do you find yourself asking, oh my God, where did all my money go? I think so many people, including myself, ask this all the time. So we know we're out there, maybe on dining out, maybe we're spending money on this, maybe you're spending money on that. We know we're doing it, but how much are we really spending? Do we know? Do we know what we're really spending? How much are we bringing in? What are our expenses? What are we left with at the end of the month? So, budgeting is so important because it tells you, it is how you tell your money what to do. That's the key thing of budgeting. We don't want to let swiping and swiping overrule us. We want to learn how to get in control and tell our money what to do. So you have to really be in control and really take the reins on your spending. So your budget plan reminds you of the amount you're earning, how much you spend, and how much you can spend to keep your finances on track. That is the key thing that's so important. We all have expenses, but if we're spending on things that are unnecessary, well, then we really have to, open our eyes to that and learn what our expenses are priorities, needs, and wants. And that's one of the things that we talk about in Thrive with the coaches is that we have needs. We need to have a roof over our head, right? We need to have that. We need to have electricity. We need to have food. But then there's those wants, like, do I really need these pair of shoes? Do I really need these clothes? Those are more wants. So keep that in mind as I'm talking about the budgeting piece. So the other key thing about budgeting and why it's so important is it helps with planning for emergencies. So it includes the option of an emergency spending fund. Emergency strike when you least expect it. But if you have a concrete budget, you know exactly what's coming in and exactly what's going out. You know you can plan. So I know that in a couple of weeks I'm going to need new tires. Well, if I start budgeting and knowing all my expenses, I can be proactive and start putting money aside for those tires that I might need to get. So it really just, overall, it really just sheds light on your spending habits, and it helps to avoid unnecessary spending. So a lot of clients that come to me, really, like I said, it's an eye-opener. And they're like, wow, Jen, I didn't even realize I was spending this much on dining out. Dining out's easy to do. So absolutely go dine out, but everything in moderation, and we need to be cautious. Because when you have expenses that are too high and you can take control of it, that's the whole thing of budgeting, and you reduce that dining out expense, the expense that you're reducing can be reallocated to something else. And clients have saved so much money when they realize that they can reduce an expense and maybe reallocate that money towards debt, or maybe a savings account they're trying to save up for money, or something for an emergency that's coming up. So what does budgeting actually do? It gives you a real concrete picture on how to allocate your money. It prevents you from overspending and being too much in debt. We don't want that. It doesn't stop you from enjoying things. It actually allows you to enjoy and have some fun in your life, but you're able to really monitor those expenses and how much can I allocate towards entertainment and enjoying the things that I do. So with that said, the benefits of budgeting is, again, not to spend on unnecessary things, and that do not contribute to your financial goals. It lets you know what you can afford and to take advantage of buying and plan on lowering your debt. It keeps you organized. So when I have clients, we have concrete spending tracker sheets that they love because they're saving their receipts. So this is how you are organized. You save your receipts, and every day you take in those receipts from that day and you put it on that spending tracker sheet, and when you add it up over the week, you can see how much you're actually spending. And then as a coach, I can work with my clients to identify, you know what, that expense can be reduced. And what's a mini goal? Can we reduce dining out from $150 to $100 a month? So we set actually concrete goals around that, and I think clients find that very helpful. So one of the benefits of budgeting is being organized. It can also help determine if you can take out debt and how much. Because again, you're knowing what your expenses are. So having that budget shows you how much debt you can realistically take out without being stressed, or if it's even worth taking the debt out. If I have these expenses that I have to prioritize, can I realistically take out that loan for the car? Maybe not. So that's why the budgeting also has to be done consistently. Consistently. It's one thing to do it once in a while, but if you're not consistent with it, it doesn't really work so well. Another thing about benefit of budgeting, it allows you to have extra money. You can identify and eliminate unnecessary spending. And again, like I said before, the savings from reducing or maybe eliminating that expense adds up. So when clients are reducing, let's say, dining out or clothing, and you see how much you're saving, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that can be reallocated to a priority. So the benefits of budgeting is really important. Spending is so easy to do. It's so easy to do. So having a consistent budget is a routine that we have to get into. It's not easy. So these days, people spend money on things that aren't important. And we use credit cards. We're in the age of plastic now. And people just tend to overuse their card. It's easy to swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe. And then before you know it, it's resulting in debt. So although it's really hard to do, you want to live within your means. What does that mean? You want to live within what you're making, what you're bringing in every month. If we do a budget, expense sheet, and we add up all your expenses, and I subtract what you're left with at the end of the month, and you're in the negative, well, you're spending outside of your means. You're spending outside of your monthly income. So we don't want that. So you don't want to be left in the negative at the end. So again, when we look at the budgeting on a monthly basis, we can really keep track of that. We have a concrete visual, and we're really spending time and working hard to make sure that you're living within your means and you're not overspending. So the last couple of pieces are, how do we stick to our budget? Right? Not easy. So the really, really most important thing I can say is you have to stick to your budget. Once you start getting into the routine where you come to Thrive and you start learning how to budget and you stick with the budget, you do a spending tracker sheet, I guarantee you're going to feel in control, and you're going to feel better about how you're spending, what are you spending on, making decisions on what can be reduced and what's not necessary. So think about these thoughts to stick to your budget. Imagine having money left over at the end of the month. Imagine being able to pay for little things without being stressed about it. Imagine being out of debt. Imagine having a full funded emergency fund. That's really important. And all these things that you can imagine can actually happen. So as I'm talking through this, think about these things and just imagine all these things happening if you stick to your budget. So that's my informational video for today on budgeting. In a nutshell, that budget will keep you on track with your money and avoid financial issues. The plan puts you in control. You have to get that self-control, and you control your money, not the plastic card that you keep swiping. It allows you to shed light on your spending habits. And you know what? If you get off track, which happens often with my clients, it's okay. We get back on track. That's the whole point of doing it consistently. So budgeting is more than numbers on a paper. When I'm talking about these spending tracker sheets, it's a living, breathing document that helps you control your spending. So that's what we do at Thrive. When you come meet with one of our financial coaches, which I'm going to give you the numbers in just a minute, we do very thorough budgeting. Most clients will come to see me monthly, and every month we update that budget sheet. And in between, they're doing the spending tracker sheets and really keeping track of their expenses. And we review those tracker sheets every time that a client comes in. So it's really an important piece, financial piece that we do at Thrive, amongst many other great things. But I just wanted to do this video to let you know that, one, how important budgeting is, and two, come in and make an appointment with Thrive. We are, especially now during this whole pandemic, people, unfortunately, are struggling financially, aren't working, are looking to get unemployment. So now's the time for people to come and call in Thrive and get the help that they need. And when the pandemic is over, it's going to last for a while. People might be struggling financially or having hardships, way after this pandemic is over. So please come to see Thrive. We are up and running. We are doing all appointments by phone. So we are still here. We're not going anywhere. If you'd like to make an appointment, you can call myself, Jen Fernandes, at 413-333-8365. You can call Emile Farjo at 413-693-0232. And last but not least, you can call Emmanuel Reyes at 413-302-3871. The nice thing about Emmanuel is he does speak Spanish, so he can take any appointments for Spanish-speaking clients. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will be coming up in the future with some more videos, tips and tricks from the Thrive program. Thank you so much.